Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Monday. What's up, everybody? Monday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great weekend, a little bit of relaxation after last week's big market movement. You'll see a couple of areas on the charts that we identified in last night's live trade room. I'm going to talk about some of those areas because we will talk specifically today about why set and forget is not going to always be the best option. So if you are a set it and forget it style trader and it's burned you in the past, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and how it can keep us out of the wrongs type of trades when we understand some other options and alternatives that we might have. If you missed last night's live trade room, go to TradersArmy.com. We actually have the ability to watch the recording. If you go to Traders Army, join us for our free preview week. We'd love to have you. Our next live session is going to be Wednesday evening. Is going to be an open forum, so you can ask any questions you want about trading. The idea is to create an open forum session for answering questions that people may have. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in on today's session. So in the ES, we gapped down last night in the levels. We gapped down right into this area here, and we actually took this little breakout to the upside. A lot of the subscribers, a lot of the members in the class for last night took this little upside breakout with this as our first target. Well, it was also an opportunity to get short, but let's talk a little bit about it. So we came to this level up into this region here, but I want everyone to pay attention to and notice what were we doing in front of the level. So we came to the level, and immediately we were basing in front of the level. Now, basing in front of the level is what I call the kiss of death. And this is why I don't do set it and forget it style trades. Set it and forget it style trade, if you did it on here, you're getting stopped out for a small loss. I'm a huge believer in utilizing alerts. Why do I use alerts? I use alerts because it allows me to look at the arrival into a level. And the arrival into the level I've found is a very important thing. And so I'm a big believer in alerts and combining that with the ability to have mobile access to my platform. Most every broker today has a robust mobile platform to allow you to look at charts and execute trades. And so I would rather miss out on a trade if I can't check it than do set it and forget it style. And I know that set it and forget it sounds easy and it's what people talk about, but in reality, it's trading is not going to just be easy where all you can do is set it and forget it and walk away. I want to look for basing before the level, and last night was a great example of that. So anybody in the room with us, we were actually in our second hour doing our option session, and that was one of the things that I talked about with Corey, who was leading our option session, was that we were basing before this level, which is the kiss of death inside that zone. So that's why this overnight level that hit here doesn't really concern me from a stop out perspective. Now, what does that mean for what's happening right now? We'll take a look at this little potential area here that we are setting up that could be a potential breakdown. So look at here for a potential breakdown area from kind of what we did. And if that does break down, we could have this as an initial target as well as an opportunity to get long. Now, if you choose to get long down there, remember, it has to be a confirmation entry because our big picture trend is still bearish, okay? Big picture trend is still bearish. NASDAQ, very much the same picture. The gap fill level, not going to be as valid. I do still want to look at this area here once again, but I think that the S&P, the NASDAQ is not as good as the S&P is for that breakdown potential. Looking at this area right in here, look for the breakdown below that region, somewhere the target back down in here. Next, let's look at crude oil. So in crude, now, same thing with our crude level. We looked at this for a potential little breakout to the upside right in here at 46.02. And actually, we drew the line in class and said, if we pop up above here, is this a false breakout if we didn't get the basing? The answer is no. We didn't get enough basing to make it a breakout, right? And so it can't be a false breakout if it doesn't qualify as a breakout. And so this is, once again, another reason why I don't really do the set it and forget it style. I want to take a look at utilizing an alert. Now, I still think that you could have a little opportunity down in here if price makes it down a bit lower into this region here. But the big picture would tell me that there's a decent shot that it continues to come down. Now, from a fundamental perspective, I was looking at price rallying a bit higher up into this region. I think we may see some of that movement. Looking at gold, gold has rallied up pretty hard over the weekend. We did get a little bit of a rally up in gold. We're coming to a little wick over wick area here. Now, in that wick over wick area, if we continue to rally up, your first target would be here, because this would be your opposing fair price value area. So it's not offering a great profit objective at this point. So I'm okay if you still want to give this a take, because I still think this is a pretty good little level in here. However, you might want to raise it a bit and come a bit higher as we're, getting that basing in front of that zone, which makes it a bit weaker. I did look at this one. Last night we had talked about if you wanted to get long right here, you had an opportunity to get long on a candle-to-candle style. Now, the reason we looked at this last night was because it was a nice little retracement of this move here, and I'm a huge fan of this move up and then a pullback, and it actually has moved nicely from there. So if you had that one in, if you were still up when that one hit, you got a nice little entry on that, and now it's coming up to that target. Now, I don't like the basing in front of this level here, so if you're not in it yet, what I am going to do is switch this to a confirmation, so that if you do get in it, you get in it with the least amount of risk. Next, looking at our 10-year note, and on our 10-year note, we have a little bit of supply level up above us. I was looking to this area down here for a potential reversal point. Found that on the 4-hour chart, as we would anticipate that our upward trend would continue. But if we get a bit of a pullback, this becomes an area where we may see price move, as that was a retest of the former breakout. In our Aussie position, so in the Aussie position, we had this little wick over wick area here. Now, it's come to that wick over wick zone. Going to the 15-minute chart, your stop would have to be above this region here. So you're still in it technically, because it would not have hit your stop, and you've gotten a little bit of a move away. If we continue, your first target is going to be right down in here for target 1. If we kind of continue that move down, remember the 6 candle rule, as we are coming, back into that region here. It might make sense at this point, just with this little wick over wick area here, to take your stop and move it to break even if you did take the short, only because we're seeing that it's showing a little bit of strength this morning. Inside of the euro, so our 6E, we've not gotten we didn't get any basing, unfortunately, yet again, for this little area in here. We are continuing our upward momentum, seeing a little bit of some upper wicks here that could give us a bit of a pullback. And if we get a bit of a pullback, I was keeping an eye on this area down here for some basing if we came back down. This is an overnight Globex pivot, but I like the time of day that it was formed, which is typically a decent moving opportunity. Canadian dollar, I kind of just held off on the Canadian dollar because none of these levels up here were clean enough for me to lean on. And so there's nothing that I've added to the Canadian dollar yet, and I'm just going to kind of hold off again as well. Great British Pound and Japanese Yen. Looking at the pound and the yen, we didn't come up to our pound supply area as of yet, and we reversed actually at the European market open. So let's see what that continues to do. Keep an eye on a potential breakdown below this area here if we get the basing that sets up the right way. The Japanese yen, oh, this is frustrating. We almost came into our demand level here on the yen. Unfortunately, no fill on that. So what do we do with that level is we switch it to a confirmation. Almost getting touched, but not quite getting in, switches us to a confirmation level. Copper was a really nice gap fill level, by the way, for those of you that had this copper trade. Nice little move up into this region here, right at the European market open. And then you got a very nice move away in that copper position. It's got a speed candle right here, and we kind of anticipate most of these speed candles to get retraced. So that would be your area inside of this level if price comes back down into here for potential reversal. So as far as today goes, we're green at the moment. Do I think we're going to stay green all day? Not necessarily. Matter of fact, we're coming down now, and we're not getting, unfortunately, literally the level we just looked at a few minutes ago. We're getting a little bit of a potential base in here, so hopefully I'll get the level up. And if we pop up a little bit here, get a little bit more basing, this could make a nice little move down. So keep an eye on that for today. Once again, please feel free to watch the recording of last night's session at tradersarmy.com. It's under our archives. If you want to give us take a look at it and then join us on Wednesday evening. So I will talk to you soon, everybody. Hope you have a great day. See ya.